My name is Robbie Hurst and I'm at MEI of North Texas Regional Airport, and today I want to talk about variable pitch props and prop governors on multi-engine aircraft. Now, I specify that this is for multi-engine aircraft because prop governors work a little bit differently on single-engine aircraft. So if you're trying to find a video on how the prop governor works in your 182, this is similar, but the oil flow is going to be different, right? So don't get confused here. This is specifically for multi-engine aircraft. So our prop governor uses the same engine oil that we use to lubricate our engine. So there's only one dipstick to check. There's no extra reservoir that we need to check to make sure that our prop governor is going to work. You can see that I've already drawn out a little bit of the oil flow here. Everything that we've got here in the blue is going to be our prop governor. What's actually changing the pitch of that prop, right? So it can either be like slicing through the air like a butter knife, or I can move it out like this way and move it more like a paddle, right? And that's going to be changed based off of our prop governor. So the elements of our prop governor are going to be, we have this speeder spring here, we have some flyweights, we have a pallet valve here, right? And so in a traditional fixed pitch prop, if you try to pitch up, that prop is going to slow down, right? You're going to get less RPM. Well, in our variable pitch prop, as we pitch up, these flyweights, because of centrifugal force, are going to be caused to come inward, right? And you can see if this went inward, that this is now going to look something like this, right? And it's going to push this pilot valve down, allowing oil into the prop head, forcing those props to a higher RPM. So it will maintain whatever RPM setting you had initially set it, which is a phenomenally cool design to me. If you were instead to pitch down, right? Generally speaking, your prop is going to want to spin faster, right? But as that prop tries to spin faster, those flyweights are now going to be pushed outward because of centrifugal force. So instead of being in this neutral position, it's going to look something like this, right? It's going to have been pushed outward, right? And it's going to pull that pilot valve up against the tension of the spring, allowing oil to leave the prop head because that pilot valve has been moved up because of those flyweights moving back and forth. It's a phenomenally cool design. Now, if I were to take this prop handle here and I pushed it all the way forward, this spring is going to be compressed, right? So now the spring looks like this, and I'm limiting the ability for those flyweights to move out and allow oil to leave the hub. That's because as I push that prop handle forward, I am telling it, I want high RPM. Give me as much as you can, right? So it's going to do its best to prevent those flyweights from moving out too much and allowing oil out of the hub because I'm wanting faster RPM, right? So I'm able to limit the movement of the spring in order to set the appropriate RPM setting that I'm looking for. Now, as oil is moving into the prop head, we have a spring and compressed air in here. The higher the pressure in the prop head, the faster the RPM is going to be, right? And it's compressing this spring and the compressed air in the prop head. But if I allow oil to leave, now this spring is going to expand out and push that oil out and push those props to a lower RPM setting. Let's say we have an engine failure and we have to do an engine shutdown. I can feather my props by pulling my prop handle all the way back, which is going to pull my pilot valve up and allow all of the oil to leave the prop head. And because we don't have oil pressure, there's no more oil trying to come in, right? And so those props are going to go from slicing through the air like a butter knife to moving all the way to a paddle, right? And since the relative wind is coming from this direction, they're going to come to a stop. And discontinue from windmilling. And so they're just going to be hanging out there, not moving at all. But let's say we've decided to restart our engine. Maybe we were in training and we shut it down for a training thing, or after we shut it down, we realized why it had stopped working and now we're ready to restart it. Well, in order to restart it, we're going to want to get it windmilling again. And our Baron 58 has what are called unfeathering accumulators, which is going to be based off of this ball back here. We have nitrogen on one side and compressed oil on the other side, compressing this nitrogen down. We have a one-way valve here and a one-way valve here. And when the engine is working, we have oil flowing into here and it's getting trapped and not being able to come back out. And whenever I request it, I can push this prop handle all the way forward, which is going to cause this nitrogen to move my diaphragm out like this, causing that oil to flow out of the unfeathering accumulator and come all the way into our prop head because our handle has been moved forward and has pushed the pilot valve down. Now, this is not something that needs to be refilled with nitrogen. It's not that I am using up the nitrogen. It is just behind a diaphragm wall. So as the engine is on, this diaphragm is going to move backwards and the nitrogen is going to become compressed. And whenever I move it forward, that nitrogen is just going to push that diaphragm like this, but it's still the same nitrogen in that unfeathering accumulator. So that's a very simple rundown of the prop governor on a multi-engine airplane. We can get into all of the forces that are pushing it towards high RPM versus low RPM another time, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the basic workings of the prop governor. My name is Robbie Hurst. I'm an MEI of North Texas Regional Airport. If there's anything that I can do to help you in your pilot journey, feel free to reach out anytime. Fly safe.